Well, hello and howdy ho everyone. Foxy Games here, and welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Full Story Playthrough. In the last episode, we took care of Omega. That is no longer a threat to the world. But we do have this big old curiosity just floating right off the coast of Kugane. We've seen it in a couple of cutscenes already, and I said we would get to it. And we're going to do so right now as we prepare for the next Alliance raid. So we had to come down here to the Kugane Dori markets and pick up this quest here. Dramatis Personae. Welcome, my lady. There's a young maiden here who would speak with you. Miss, the adventurer has arrived. And here she is. The liberator of both Doma and Alamigo in the flesh. I am Lena Murila, correspondent for the Raven. You may recognize me from my expose on the secret lives of the homunculi. No, as a matter of fact I don't. But enough small talk. It's not for nothing that I've been standing here since yesterday morning on the off chance you'd pass by. No, I'm here because, actually, it's best you heard it from Alma. I am but an observer. Alma, come! I've found her! Is this the adventurer of whom you spoke? Indeed it is. Please, I beg of you, find my father. You are his only hope. It's all right, Alma. We are attracting unwanted attention. Might I suggest a change of venue? We will await you before the Prima Vista. The theater barge has a berth at the airship landing. Well, that was rather forward of her. Please find my father. And without even a hint of explanation as to where he might be. Or, you know, what's going on. Well, let's find out. As I said before, I think it better we continue the conversation in the privacy of the young lady's barge. It's not that I don't trust anyone here, it's simply that I don't trust anyone here. Gate guard Minagumo has been instructed to look out for you. In the future, speak with him when you wish to gain admission to the docks. Alright. Well, she's clammed up. You should speak with Lady Lena. Thank you for coming, Foxy. You're probably wondering why I've summoned you to an airship, and a Garlean one at that. Allow me to explain on the shuttle. It's the fanciest Garlean airship I've ever seen, but she did say it's a theater barge. I guess it makes sense that they couldn't dock that huge thing right there. It's also named after the theater ship from Final Fantasy IX. Ah, Final Fantasy Tactics music. Welcome to the Prima Vista, the most luxurious theater barge in all the land. Oh, it is quite fancy, that's for sure. The Prima Vista serves as both stage and home to the majestic Imperial Theater Company. You can keep that dirk in your drawers. No one here is a member of the Imperial Army, nor are there any spies within the troop. At least no known spies. Ask anyone, and they will readily attest. The majestic Imperial Theater Company are the finest practitioners of the dramatic arts to be found anywhere on the 3 great continents and beyond. They have admirers throughout the Empire and its territories, and even boast a sizable following in Gridania, hence my assignment to their story. It is a little-known fact, outside Garlemald at least, that the late Emperor was a devoted patron of the arts, who supported various theater troupes to the tune of much coin. Indeed, Solus was so enamored of the majestic players that he ordered the construction of this very airship, that the troupe might perform in every corner of the Empire. When his grandson took to the throne, however, everything changed. Now all theater troupes, domestic and foreign, must submit their works for approval by the Central Imperial Board of Censors. If a play is deemed vulgar or inflammatory, it is banned and the troupe denied their writs of transit. The worst offenders? Well, they are never heard from again. How decidedly Garlean of them. This policy has effectively left playwrights with one of 2 options: comprise their creative integrity to curry favor with his radiance, or put down their quills altogether. The principal of the Majestic, however, chose a 3rd option: to express his disapproval for the new Emperor's policies obliquely in ostensibly unpolitical works. Pray forgive me for my earlier outburst. I am Alma Bas Lexentale, daughter of Principal Genomus Sen Lexentale. Mayhap you have heard of my father's latest play, the Zodiac Brave Story. On the surface, it is an innocent retelling of a well-known Garlean fairy tale, hardly worthy of the censor's attention. But beneath it is something quite different, a fact the censors failed to spot when they approved the manuscript for public performance. The play quickly became a huge success. The common folk loved its fantastical story, while the learned classes appreciated its true message. By the time the Imperial Board of Censors realized their mistake, it was too late. No longer in a position to prohibit the performance outright without admitting fault, they took aim at the company's purse strings instead. Before long, noble patrons began to withdraw their support, fearing to be associated with the troupe. And by the end, even the learned felt compelled to feign ignorance. By bleeding the Majestic of their funding, the censors robbed them of their voice. And none of this has made it any clearer as to why you're here. Right. Allow me, Lena. Sid! It's almost like we just saw you. I've known Genomus since we were students at the Magitech Academy. When I heard his daughter was in Kugane looking to enlist the aid of an adventurer, I felt compelled to give her your name. Sorry for not announcing myself sooner, old friend. Genomus and I were from different worlds, but that only served to fuel our friendship. Many were the nights we would prattle on into the wee small hours, warm flagons of peated ale numbing our minds to the other's naive ideologies. Yet no matter where our conversation began, it would invariably end with him telling me how he was going to change the Empire from the inside out. The troop was to be his path into the people's hearts. Even after the Empire forced him from his home, Genomus never gave up hope that his work might change the world. Art will ever strain against artificial bounds and borders, man-made walls and misguided wars. It is in such times of uncertainty that we must needs embrace our calling and take to the skies, so others might do the same. What I am trying to say, rather poorly I concede, is that not all Garleans are hewn from the same stone. Just as there are those who pledge their lives to the Empire and would never think to question the authority of its leaders, there are those like Alma's father and myself whose love for their country does not blind them to its flaws. Still, try selling that sack of sunflower to an Alamegan or a Doman who's watched his family consumed in the flames of a Magitech Reaper. How many Eorzean adventurers do you think would leap at the opportunity to help an Imperial searching for her missing father, and in Garlean territory no less? But you are different. You have seen enough to know that the line between good and evil is not defined by race, color, or creed. So, what say you? I could never turn my back on a damsel in distress. Oh, thank you so much. Now that you understand the nature of the task, perhaps Alma can provide some insight as to where we might begin our search. Shortly before my father disappeared, he began work on his next play, a successor to the Zodiac Brave story. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Please, follow me. Through adventure and hardship, young Delida, a boy of common blood, becomes a hero, culminating in the birth of the mythical kingdom of Ivalice. But that is where the story ends. There are no records of anything that follows. Was Principal Genomus simply going to invent something? My father believed he had discovered evidence of a second hero, one whose efforts went largely unnoticed, but without whom Delida would never have risen to the throne. His was the next tale he wanted to tell, the true Zodiac Brave story. A second hero? According to my father's studies, this young man was one of Delida's closest friends and confidants, that is, until the untimely passing of Delida's sister forced the two to part ways. Yet the unnamed hero continued to provide aid to his friend by thwarting the machinations of those who would scheme against Delida. Shut up, phone. Thus paving the way for the pauper's rise to regent. You must forgive me, but I've never heard anyone to make such claims. How exactly did your father come by this information? That is a long story. One which begins and ends with Genomus becoming lost in the very legend he sought to lay bare. Even as far back as our academy days, Ivalice had Genomus firmly in its grasp. He flatly refused to believe the story was just a fairy tale. And so, when he was finally driven out of Garlemald, it was only natural that he should choose this of all places as his refuge, was it not, Alma? That is correct, Master Garland. It has long been my father's belief that the ruins of ancient Ivalice lie beyond Nagxia, buried beneath the sands of the Dalmasca Desert. Poor Dalmasca. The kingdom prospered in relative isolation for countless generations, until the Empire came calling. When not touring, my father would organize expeditions into the Dalmasca Desert and to search for proof of Ivalice's existence. Sometimes he would bring back strange artifacts, ancient tomes, and crystals. Crystals unlike any others. My father called them oricite, and claimed they were vital to proving his theories. This is one such crystal. By the 12, it's magnificent! Ivalician legend tells of crystals bequeathed by the gods unto those who would be kings. It is during his quest to gather oricite that young Delilah rises to prominence. I must have heard the tale 1,000 times from my nursemaid, but that is all it ever was, a tale. My father would often tell us how the oricite spoke to him. At the time, we assumed he was speaking figuratively, that the stone's beauty roused his muse. But then he began to act strangely. How so? Following our arrival here in Hingashi, my father spent most of his time cloistered in his chambers, poring over his past research. And though he was alone, we could overhear him in conversation. It was not uncommon for my father to recite the lines as he wrote them, but it soon became clear that this was something else. It was as if he was talking to my mother who passed several winters gone. Might this not have been out of mere loneliness, or perhaps the strain of your flight from Garlemald? Possibly, but that would not explain the voices which answered him. Alma, who are these people? I told you I did not require any help finding father, especially from outsiders. So good of you to join us, Ramza. Allow me to introduce... Enough, Master Cid. We may be shunned by the Empire, but we are still Garleans, and we still have our pride. Unlike some, it seems. We require neither the aid nor the pity of foreign rabble. Have you forgotten where you are, brother? It is we who are the foreign rabble. This land and its customs are all but unknown to us. We would be fools to conduct our search without a proven guide. Your sister is right, Ramza. As for my good friend here, your mistrust is ill-placed. I will personally vouch for her character. In all the time I have known her, she has never once let anything as insignificant as race or creed color her judgment. You are lucky to have her. But we would have you, Master Garland. Why do you refuse us? You know why. Until this affair with Omega is resolved, my hands are tied. It pains me to refuse you and your sister, but it pains me far more to leave Genomus to his fate. I am sorry. Okay, so this is a bit of an anachronism. I guess this came out before the Omega raids. You need not apologize. I let my emotions get the better of me. After what happened in Rabanastre, it may be time to admit we're out of our depth. My brother's last expedition met with tragedy in the ruins of the capital city. He barely escaped with his life. The Empire turned Rabanastre into a death trap. You're a fool to set foot there without a proper escort. I realize that now, Master Garland, but at the time I saw an opportunity to rescue our father, and I took it. Whatever led you to believe your father was in Dalmasca's capital? My father's fascination with Ivalician legend began with a trip to the antediluvian city, long before the war. Call it a premonition, but something tells me that this is where he's returned. Now you must excuse me, I need some time to think. Then, Alma, I shall leave you and your brother in Foxy's capable hands. She has ever repaid my trust with interest. You would do well to grant her yours. Thank you, Master Garland. We will not forget this kindness. Well, I sure wish I had realized that, that Omega came out after this, and that there were dialogue bits that made it anachronistic, but oh well. Cid didn't bear me farewell. This is going in my write-up. Oof, Lena. Oh, how I miss my father. Well, this kid's a bit of a noble brat, but let's talk to him anyway. Master Garlean seems to think highly of you, so I will withhold judgment until after Dalmasca. Dalmasca is nestled in a forgotten corner of the Empire's outermost territories. I do not foresee any trouble from the standing army, but would suggest committing to memory the locations of each of the barge's exits, just in case. As for the flight itself, the currents above Dalmasca are as wild as the land below. You might want to hold on. I do wish all these side stories were voice acted. And this is an issue all the way up to Shadowbringers. They just don't voice act the side stuff. We'll complete our descent to Rabanastre in the shuttle. Ramsa? I thought I made myself clear, Alma. The capital is simply too dangerous. Father would never forgive me if I were to lose you trying to rescue him. Come, we are wasting time. I mean, if you can't fight, you really shouldn't be there. According to my father, Rabanastre was already a thriving city some 1,000 years ago. But after performing several private excavations beneath the so-called Desert Sapphire, my father came to the conclusion that it was not the first settlement to stand here. Then, your father believes that Rabanastre sits atop the royal city of Lassalia, capital of Ivalice? But if that's true, it could change history. It would be famous. Famous? Are you sure you don't mean rich? Pfft, you're kinda all alike. Parasites grown fat on the sweat and suffering of others. Damn, he is harsh. Bold words for a boy of but 16 summers. And what, pray tell, have I done to deserve such spite? I only wish to learn the truth behind the disappearance of the Empire's foremost playwright. If that should lead to something bigger, well then, I would be the worst reporter in the realm if I did not pursue it. Yes, we can argue about this now, or we can return to the Prima Vista and report to our army of adventurers that it is time to begin the expedition. I humbly suggest the latter. Then why did we come down here to begin with? You see? It is as I said, brother. Let them come to us. Should we kill them now? No, the time is not right. When has that stopped us before? Fool, do you see that one? Slayer of gods, they call her. Warrior of light. So yes, we are being watched. We'll have to see what happens when we venture into the royal city of Rabanastre. To Rabanastre. You cannot expect me to walk away from this. If the legend of Ivalice is true, the public has a right to know. Hold on, Father. Help is on the way. Well, nothing for it but to go. Welcome to the royal city of Rabanastre. These raids can get a little rough, but we'll get through them. Alright, looks like we are Alliance A. Red chocobos. A nightmarish thing they are. You'll see. Now, there's no trash in the beginning. We immediately start with a boss. Looks like this guy wants the main tank. He's taking a lot of damage. Alright, as soon as he casts Unbind, he's going to cast a big old spiral of ice on the ground. And this lady, this big old frosty lady, I have no idea who she is, but anyway, we have to destroy this thing. In fact, we have to destroy all of them. Right, we need to get people standing on these things too. Well, I don't think it's gonna happen. Nope. Oh boy. Well, people wanna ignore the mechanics. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it'll be alright. Yeah, he's already at half health. Should be a safe spot. Yeah, right here, I guess. Yeah, that was alright. I mean, nobody's dead. Oh yes, these toads need to be killed now because we are now submerged underwater. And if we take too many breathless stacks, we will die. But the frogs drop puddles. So you can... not puddles, what am I talking about? Bubbles, so you can breathe underwater. And if you let these AoE things go through the bubbles, they will be popped. And that will not be good. I need to remove my stacks. For some reason... oh, the other tank died. That's why he no longer has aggro. I think we're fine now. Oh yeah, he's dead. Well, that's good. That's very good. Mechanics weren't a big deal. And... well, we killed him. That's the important part. Alright, we've got some bandits here. And they have black chocobos. Explains how they got here. Alright, these guys are going to retreat. More black chocobos. This goes on for a little bit. And now there's a red chocobo coming. These things are fucking terrifying. And it's going to cast Choco Meteor. If you are any closer to that, it will kill you. Of course, it's running off now. Also, these treasure chests were all mimics. So, this entire encounter was just a whole bunch of shit. Alright, second boss. And yes, people here, certain people here, have been turned into strange creatures. They're not sure how. I'm hitting the wrong goddamn button. Alright. This guy is all about Earth stuff. Be careful of which way he slices that building, because it is going to fall. That-a-way, and these guys are in the way. Let's see, I forget what to do about that. Oh yeah, just don't be in the middle. It's been a while since I've done these raids. Oh yes, you don't want to be too close to where that thing lands. Okay, now we want to destroy his tower. And I believe there will be ads that need to be destroyed. Yes, these sand spheres need to die. If they don't, we are fucked. Ow. That was the wrong cast. I need to change some buttons. Well, hey. More towers that are being sliced. It looks like they're going to fall. Oh boy. I think I'm okay here. Yeah. More towers. Step out of the way. Oh. Oh, okay. I was in the wrong spot. Oh well. It's been some time, like I said. Run to the side. Come on. Oh, there he goes. These are going to be a bit sloppy because there's a lot to remember in these raids, and I'll be honest, when I first went through them, I did not find them particularly interesting. We'll see if that changes, but I also just woke up. All the other stuff for this video was done yesterday, and I had some other stuff to do. Oh, it's these guys again. Come here. Why? Why are you doing this? Well, fine, we'll kill you first, since you don't seem to feel like, you know, attacking the other tank. Oh, good. Bring him over here. Bring him over here so we can AoE them down. Hooray, they're dead. Oh god, I'm paralyzed. The most annoying status effect. And then we go down. Oh, we get pulled into our own, our own alliance's whirlpool thingy. Not whirlpool. Waterfall, that's the word. Whirlpool. Jesus Christ, I'm more tired than I thought. This place is pretty cool, though. I'm not sure if it's a place you visit in Final Fantasy Tactics or 12, but it's pretty cool. Because I owned Final Fantasy Tactics, I just never finished it because it's fucking hard. And I'm bad at video games. And we just gotta wait for everybody to get here. And who is that? It's the other party. These guys are taking their sweet time. Oh, they had to actually swim. I'm not sure what the point of that is, but it's cool. And just like they thought, the royal city of Lysalia does exist beneath Rabanastre, the capital of Ivalice. And we have yet another boss. Hark! What army marches on Rofocale, rather, Demens? Well, I guess I'm main tank since I have aggro. Oh god, I took a lot of physical vulnerability there. Oh, and I know why. Because I completely missed the damn tank buster. Oh well. Chariot! He's going to charge. Oh, right, I forgot about that. And it did no damage. Oh, right. Damn. Like I said, the raids in this place get a little rough. Alright. These guys are going to charge, and there are safe spots on the corners. Well, the corners of their attack. It's a circular room. There's no corners in a circular room. I'm just talking a lot of dumb shit right now because I have no idea what's going on here. Pull the boss to the middle, alright. Oh, Christ. I got locked out. Well, this is embarrassing. I'm not usually this bad. Oh well, these things are gonna die real quick. Well, we'll chalk it up to me having only woken up maybe half an hour ago. Hey, we didn't die. Hooray. Alright, they want him to face north. Oh yes, don't step in those blue circles on the ground. It will be bad news for everybody. It actually doesn't do too much, it just binds you in place, but it's annoying. Right, again. Forgot about that. One of these damn blue circles. And somebody else popped one, so now I am stuck. Somebody else popped one. Well, thankfully, he's almost dead. Okay. This thing, we needed to interact with all of these dark circles, and we have to click on them. If we don't get rid of all of them, we die. Oh, shit. And I'm glad everybody else knew that, because that's the one thing I remember from this boss fight. Oh yes. That's not even the final boss here. This place, it goes on forever. The air in here feels wrong, and I did not get a chance to read the rest of it. He's using an aura sight, just like the one Alma has. Well, now we know how these people are transforming themselves.
Who dares disturb the slumber of Fabled, rightful king of Ivalice? Descendants of House Beowulf? Then by my sword shall I banish your souls to the deepest hell.
Alright. Final boss of the encounter. Or final boss of the dungeon. Why do I keep saying encounter? Who the fuck knows? I'm gonna let the other tank take the lead. Because I am clearly not awake enough. Well, they apparently don't have their tanking stance on because I took aggro immediately.
Like sheep before the wolf. I am Revolution!
When you get a blue mask flash on your screen, you do not want to disobey the command. Nope, nope, didn't pop yet. We're good. I forget what these orbs do. Well, they're all gone now. Oh yeah, these shades need to die.
Does it grieve you to see the depths of your own weakness laid bare? Maggots!
My instinct to never touch anything with a circle around it.
Step into nothing. I am the lies upon which you sup.
Alright, we got a demon face, so that means we disobey. There we go.
The world has no place for such riches. Your claim to life is forfeit.
Alright. Now this is an interesting mechanic. You run in a random direction, depending on which way your finger on top of you is pointing. And soon he's going to make that very difficult. Alright, we got an angel face, so we can move.
You will be judged. I am Revelation!
Okay, demon face. So we need to look.
You will be judged. The world has no place for such riches. Your claim to life is forfeit.
And once again we're confused. And now he's going to use a big old AoE. It's not that difficult to control once you figure out what you're supposed to do. You have to basically time when you move. Thankfully, that is not an instant kill attack. I think that would be a bit cruel.
Fool is the dog who bares his teeth before his master. The gods have no eyes for cattle.
Meteors. Okay. Well, he's dead. Oh, and I leveled up. Damn.
This body, it is not my own.
Oh, gods, what have I done? Save me! Ramza! Save me!
Alright. Well, that was kind of rough, but we did it. I'm just not quite as confident about these as I am other raids. I don't want any of that shit. Where am I? Father! Ramza, and the Warrior of Light. Yes, I know of you, but that you should come to my rescue. Words fail me. A poor playwright I must seem. Oh dear. The term you're looking for is thank you, upon which note I, a Garlean bounty hunter, do humbly thank you, Warrior of Light, for delivering me this fine gift. Now hand over the Orosite, unless you wish to see the desert sands turn red. And be quick, Gijokir does not have the sturdiest of hands. That one, she will bring it to me. Yes, this is it. The Duma. And to think we found it so close to Doma. The Duma of Doma. What a dumbass. Oh, damn. Enough, Baggy. We would not have our guests think us underbred. You have what you want, you thieving lizards. Now unhand him. Of course. Shut up, phone. A banker is always true to his word. I will be keeping this, though. Father! You've only to blame yourselves for this. But if you mislike the thought, you could always blame the gods. Not that they are listening. Get up, fool. We're leaving. You shot him. You're going to be all right. We cannot say to your father's hurts here. Come on, we must get him back to the Prima Vista. Well, at least we got the man back. We lost the crystal and we lost the book, but we got the man. Father, wake up, Father. Please, Mother, don't take him from us yet. He is unchanged. Well, he's alive. Genomus remains deep in slumber, but his breathing is steady and his fever has subsided. For now, all we can do is wait. I've sent word to Sid. I hope you don't mind. Why would I mind? Alma, Ramza, can you ever forgive me? And you, Cid, it was never my intention to put you to such trouble. Am I ever in your debt? You would have done the same for me, Genomus. Besides, it was Foxy here who went to all the trouble. If anyone deserves your thanks, it's her. He's right. I've done naught to deserve your kindness, yet I am its beneficiary nonetheless. So if I understand correctly, you're saying Auracite does not work to facilitate the possession of a living host by an icon, as was assumed to be the case with the Assail and the Archbishop, but rather absorbs the host's ether, its very soul, and somehow transforms it before returning it to the host's body. If that is the case, our Garlean allies will need to be informed immediately. But I suppose the real question here is, did you find what you came looking for? The legend would have us believe that Delita Harrell, the commoner who would be king, was the sole hero of the Zodiac Brave story. But as I have discovered, there was another. Two others, in fact. Siblings whose roles faded from the subsequent retellings of the story. A brother and sister by the names of Ramza and Alma. Then, to prepare for this assignment, I pored over every published work on Ivalician legend, legend I could lay my hands on, and nowhere did I find any mention of these siblings. But I did. I uncovered irrefutable evidence that Delita had a close companion named Ramza who aided him in his rise to power. This in turn led me to Alma, and that I might never lose sight of the truth, I named my own children after these lost players. I'm sorry I never told you any of this, Cid, but you must believe me. Ivalice has never been a mere pastime of mine. It is and forever will be my calling, my purpose. My family's purpose. Go on. The world knows me as Genomus Sen Lexentail, yet that is but my stage name. My true name is Arslan Durai. Countless generations past, it was my ancestor who penned the Durai Papers, an account of Ivalice and the War of the Lions that details what truly occurred during that turbulent era. You are tired, Father. Rest. I will continue. Long ago, an orphan by the name of Oran Durai crossed paths with both Ramza and Delita. After Delita's rise to power, Oran found himself in the service of the pauper become king. Following the War of the Lions, Oran believed the people of Ivalice had a right to know the truth of Ramza's involvement, and set about documenting his deeds. When the church learned of his intent, however, they branded him a heretic and had him burned at the stake. The Durai Papers were never published. Any existing copies were gathered and sealed away in church vaults, the truth about Ivalice along with them. What was so damning that it would drive the church to do such a thing? The answer to that question can be found in this book, the only surviving transcript of my ancestors' chronicle, copied from an early draft and passed down for untold generations. With this, my father and I plan to reveal the truth and restore honor to my family name. Forbidden Chronicles? A secret family legacy? Not that I doubt you, Genomus. But how do you expect to convince people of all this when well-nigh every soul in the realm believes Ivalice to be nothing but a bedtime story? By proving that it is anything but. And when people see that Ivalice was real, the rest will fall into place. Were it as simple as bringing forth the chronicle and submitting it for review, we would of course done so long ago. But alas, it is not. The Durai papers, you see, are written in High Ivalician, an ancient tongue long extinct. My father, and his father before him labored tirelessly to decipher this tome, but for want of other sources made only fitful progress. A word here, a phrase there. It wasn't until a recent expedition to Rabanastre turned up several well-preserved artifacts that we were able to translate a small portion of the papers. And the diary stolen by the Banga bounty hunters. I'm afraid so. Everything we had learned of the language was contained in those pages. And we're back to where we started. Not necessarily. We still have the transcript, as well as some few translated passages, and of course, my father's impeccable memory. I have come too far to allow so simple a setback to deter me from my purpose. I will show the world the truth if it is the last thing I do. It is as Master Garlean said. He is a man obsessed, and I fear Ivalice's grip on him will only grow tighter. Father was fortunate to escape Rabanastre with his life, and already he speaks of continuing his quest. Promise me you'll keep him safe, please. Oh dear. After what I've seen here, I'm all but convinced that Ivalice exists, at least in some form. The problem will be gathering sufficient evidence to convince the thousands of scholars and historians who have based their careers on the presumption that it doesn't. Not that I've ever been one to shy from a challenge, especially when it means the story of the century. If you're in, Foxy, then I'm in. If you're not in, well, I'm still in. Either way, you'll be hearing from me again soon. That much I promise you. Well, I guess we can't exactly stay out of it then, huh? Man, our inventory's clogged up. Well, I think we're going to call it an episode for now. In the next one, we will press on into the mystery of Ivalice, and see what it is that we can find out. Beware those weird glowing stones, they mean nothing but trouble, I'm sure, and if you've played Final Fantasy Tactics, you know that for a certainty. Until the next time, my name is Foxy Games. Take care, everyone. Bye.